Lion Star is announcing the closure of 3 more clinics in Nacogdoches. This comes one day after it announced the closure of Care First Garrison. The company says Care's First Women's Memorial Family Clinic with Dr. Otto and the clinic with Dr. Kim Schaus will close in a little less than a month on March 22nd. Lion Star says the clinics will operate normally until they close. The clinics were notified that their last day will be March 22nd.
KLTV 7's Mariela Gonzalez was in Nacogdoches County tonight, where residents gave their concerns about the closures.
Is it Lion Star or Lion Star?
Dozens of people gathered tonight at the Nacogdoches Memorial Hospital for the Nacogdoches Hospital District regular meeting. The legal counsel for the hospital district made a comment before open forum.
The hospital district was as surprised, as concerned, and as frustrated as everybody in this room may have been. We did not know that was going to happen. It was a surprise to us, and we learned it later than probably some of you did.
Susanna Fuller, Nacogdoches Memorial Hospital's nurse practitioner, says she stands against the Lion Star's actions.
But I also stand against the people in the hospital district that have also made many layoffs, just like Lion Star did now. We need people that are going to stand up and do what's right.
City of Garrison Mayor Keith Yarborough says closure will affect their senior citizen residents.
The people in Garrison are afraid of what they will have to do and go through to find medical care.
Garrison Clinic patient Gloria Bennett says the relationship between patient and care provider are essential.
People that feel comfortable have a tendency to not feel intimidated and have a tendency to disclose more factors that are involved with their health issue.
The clinic's closing will be Care's First Women's Memorial Family Medicine with Dr. Otto, the clinic with Dr. Kim Schaus, and Garrison's First Care Clinic. They are set to close on March 22nd. Mariela Gonzalez, KLTV 7 News.
In a statement tonight, Lion Star said unless the Nacogdoches County Hospital District pays the state of Texas $7.2 million that is owed, the hospital is in imminent danger of being unable to continue operations. Well, to see the full statement, we've set up a link on our website, kltv.com. Scan that QR code right there on the left part of your screen, or you can visit our homepage and click on the big red box.